Okay, for week 9, one of the easiest ways to work on a theme, you already know how to download a theme from another source. You have 3 different ways of trying to insert the theme into WordPress. But as you may discover, you might look at it and say, well, this theme is nice, but I want to change some things on it. It's not exactly what I want. And that's where child themes come in. Now, first, let me tell you what I would have done before child themes, because I didn't know any better. I didn't know the right way to make a change. Let me demonstrate that to you. So let's say I've got this theme called, let me take one of the older ones, 2016. I'll do that one. So I'm going to activate 2016. And I'm going to say, you know, this theme does practically everything that I need. This is great. When I look at the front end of the site, let me see if it displays or anything. Well, it looks pretty good, but instead of a blue highlight, I want it to be red maybe, like for these guys right here. So what I would have done if I wanted to make a change to this is I would go to the CSS files or the HTML files or the PHP files that are associated with building this page. And all of that is located in that folder that I showed you before. So I use the 2016 theme, right? Go back to my localhost again, going to webd169 final. So now I'm in my final project one. And I went into WP content, themes. Now I can see all my themes. This particular one is 2016, so I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And all of these files that are in here are associated with my 2016 theme, including this one that's called style.css, right? So I can end up opening this file. Let me open it with brackets. Let's see. We could see it from brackets' point of view. Oops. Well, it didn't like my other file, but it is showing me that I've got this theme that's showing 2016, and it's telling me all these different areas of the table of contents and how to make some changes. And I'm like going, well, that's nice, but I want to go ahead and make a change to the hover state of this title. So I want to change that to red. So using Chrome, I usually right-click and inspect, and if you've taken a CSS class or something like that, you may be able to find out, you know, where these things are located. So over here, I'm trying to see, well, how did it build this? It ended up making its default color, but if I end up going over to the hover state of this, it's making it blue based off of this .entry title. So I'll go, oh, okay. .entry title a hover is going to change that to this particular color, and I want it to be red. So I got to go to my style.css file. Let me find .entry. And it's the hover state. Oops, not that one. Oops, let me see if I got this right. .entry title. Okay, so it's .entry title. Here it is. All right, so what I might do is I might go over here and I'll comment out the original one and change the color to red, something like that. Hit save. So if I did this right, I refresh the page. Oops, I guess I didn't pull this through. Thought I saved that. Color equals red. Hover, focus, entry title. Entry title, a focus. Oh, thanks. Yeah, you're right. Probably clearing cache. Good point. All right, let me go clear my cache. It's probably cached in, let's see, under this one, under Chrome, clear browsing data. I'll just clear it from the last 24 hours. Not all my stuff. Come on, finish clearing. Maybe I had a lot of data, even the last 24 hours. Okay. Let's see, where was I? It was on here, sorry. So refresh. Could have done a control refresh too. That could have been doing it. No, it's still showing the blue. Control refresh. See if that'll do it. Still didn't take it. Am I in the wrong folder? Save this. Unless there's another instance of it. Looks like there may be. Entry title focus, it's 1 of 38. So let me try. Oh, was it? I thought it still showed blue back here, but oh, it did. Thank you. Gosh, so it did work. So anyway, sorry about that. So that would be a way I would end up making the changes by editing the actual file. Now, the problem with doing that, there's some issues with changing the file directly. Let's say I ended up making some structural changes to this theme. What some themes do, I'll go back to the folder again. Some themes do is they've done a lot of work in trying to make sure it's bulletproof and fixing some items, or if different browser changes come by, and they make it so that the design doesn't look clear. So what they'll do is you might have an upgrade. It'll say there's a new upgraded version of this theme. Do you want to install it? If you say yes, it may have wiped over all of the changes that you have in your system. So instead of doing that, that's where the child theme comes in. So let me try to reverse the changes that I have back here once again. Hit save. See if it reverted back. So it's back to blue. And I'll show you a different way to accomplish the exact same thing, except I'm not touching the main theme at all. So I'll go to the PowerPoint presentation. So first, as I described before, why create a child theme? And we will soon learn in future lessons it isn't easy creating a theme from scratch. We're going to do in this course, we're going to take our HTML theme that we had from the beginning of the class, and we're going to try to convert that to a theme. So if we use a fully functional theme, we can make our life easier by making minor changes. Okay? However, if we modify the original theme like I just did, we may lose our changes when the theme is upgraded to a newer version. A child theme allows us to use all the existing code, but storing changes and other modifications in a separate folder. So they work together, actually, when you actually work with a theme like this. How do you activate a child theme? The child theme acts like other themes. The only difference is it requires the parent theme to be installed in order for it to function. The child theme is activated and the parent theme exists, but it is an inactive state. So I'm going to demonstrate that in just a bit here. So how do you create a child theme? Well, we're going to do one right now. Let me start it from scratch. So 2016 is the main theme that I'm working with. So I'm going to try to make another folder. I'm going to call it 2016-child. So at least I can clearly see that this is the child of this one here, just to make it simple for myself. The child theme looks like a normal theme, but with one very, very minor exception, and that has to do with this one parameter called template. And I need to have a template telling me what's the parent theme. So you could almost think when it says template : it says parent. And the other thing is your theme name needs to be unique. It has to be different than the original theme name. So one easy way to do that is to go to your parent's child theme, your parent's style.css, this one right here. So I ended up opening that up in brackets, right? Very top, it had all the information related to the theme being 2016, so on, and open and closing comments here. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to call it 2016 child. And the other thing I need to do is I need to make another item on here. Let me put it, say right here. And I'm going to say template. Now the template needs to point to the folder name of the 2016 child, not chili, child. So my 2016 folder looks like that. That's the name of it, right? So I need to take the folder name, not the name that you see at the top of the theme name, but the folder name. I need to grab that, paste it right there. So that tells me which folder to look for the parent information. 2016 child, I can give WordPress theme, say modified by me, put my initials on there. They could still go to this site. No, maybe not. I'll take that one off, delete it off. Description, same as 2016. Except with red hover titles. These, I can keep almost all those the same. So far it looks good. All right. So I'm going to save this. All right, now it's called style.css. Where do you think I need to put this? Once again, I have to go to my local host, which is c:\xampp httdocs. I need to go to the WordPress installation I'm working with, which is webd169 final. From here, I need to go to the theme that I want to modify. WP content, themes, 2016 child. And I want to call this file style.css. All right, so far so good. So I've got this file called style.css. It's pointing to its parent. Okay. All right. So there's two unique techniques for calling the parent CSS theme. One of them is saying I want to use the CSS at import syntax. And the other one uses PHP and some WordPress hooks to call the parent CSS. Probably method 2 is probably the more preferred method. But at least method 1 is easier to understand if you know CSS. So let's look at both of those. Okay. So the parent CSS is not automatically inserted. So in the child's style.css, we can use CSS to import the parent's theme. So this one's for 2015. I got to do it for 2016. But what I'm doing is I need to grab this text right here. And I need to place it right here at the bottom. I need to use a 2016 folder name and place it here. So to give you an explanation of what this does, it ends up taking your style.css and it says go up one directory, saying to the parent directory, go down to the 2016 folder, and then go into style.css and place it right here. That's where you want to go. So that'll install the entire theme. So let me do this. Let's see what it looks like without any of this stuff first, just to show you what my theme looks like at this point in time. So I'm just commenting everything out. But I do have the theme name here so that when I actually try to check this out over in WordPress, it should see a theme called 2016 child. So let's see what I have so far. Just the style.css, that's all I have in this folder right here. One file, that's all. So I'll go to my WordPress project, close all this stuff out so I don't have to see all this stuff. I'm going to log into the back end of my final project that I was playing around with. I'm going to appearance. And now I've got this other crazy one over here. It doesn't have any picture or anything, but it does say 2016 child. If I look at the details, it ends up showing all the comments that I made. WordPress theme modified by DT. So I can activate this. So here's my theme. It doesn't have a thumbnail, so it doesn't know what it looks like. So I'll go to the front end and take a look and see what I have. Wow, that looks horrible. That's not what I wanted, right? I want all the styles and themes coming from my parents' project, my parents' theme. So I'll go back here. I'll take off those comments, which is saying go ahead and import the style from whatever the parent theme was. Save that. Refresh again, cross my fingers, hopefully it comes out better, much better. All right. Now it's still showing me this thing that says hello world and that thing that I changed last time, it's not hovering over that well. So after this part of the code, I want to end up putting in that change that I made. So when I went to entry, title, hover, the section right here, I wanted to use that on my theme. Clean that up a little bit. So entry, title, hover, or focus, I want it to be red. I'll save that. Do a refresh. I did a control click. Hopefully that'll clear the cache a little bit better this time. Uh-oh, I broke something. Oh, I forgot the semicolon at the end. And now I've got my changes in place. All right, that was method one. And that was just by putting in this import URL to try to go ahead and grab one directory above and then go down to the parent's theme to grab that CSS file so it could do the rest. The more preferred method is to create a file called functions.php. And what this will do, you don't even have to read it too much, but it just does its magic to say, go grab the parent that you defined in your template and go ahead and insert the CSS file. So that way I don't even have to hard code anything in place. I just need to grab this set of code and put it into a file called functions.php inside of my theme. So I'll grab that. Take this file, save it, and not here. I need to put it into, first go to localhost, then to my WordPress folder, webd169 final, then into my theme, WP content, themes, 2016 child, and call it functions.php. So now that I did that, I should be able to go back to my 2016 child, and I can put comments around this again. So it's not going to use that one. Save that. If I did things right, it should look pretty much the same when I refresh this page. Still works. Just to prove it's right, I'll make it purple. Some other color so that I can see if it did change. So now it's purple. So both techniques work, but the second one is more preferred because it doesn't matter what theme you chose as your parent, it's going to adopt that style and inject it in for you. You don't need to remember that it was called 2016 or whatever the name of it was, or the folder name changes. It'll actually look up and say, what's the theme that you put into your CSS file right here, and use that to find out what the parent was. All right. So in the example, I end up saying choose something like color is equal to red. Now, depending on which theme you use, it may not be as easy as that, because just saying A for anchor tag, it might have some deeper code like I was showing you in this example. So you may want to use the exact example I gave you of 2016 and try to grab that code that we just showed in the demonstration. Okay. Now the other thing that's pretty cool about this, Later in the course, we're going to learn about some theme hierarchies where you can customize posts, pages, sidebars, and a whole lot of other stuff. So remember, I was telling you, if you didn't like the way, let's say, a theme was structured, maybe you didn't, let's say it said like date and title, and you wanted it to be title and date, in opposite orders. But you didn't want to override, you didn't want to change any of the original parent themes. So what you could do, one real easy way to make a change like that, let's see if I could show a demo of that too. Okay, so it says, let's see, there's the date, and then there's a comment, something like that on here. Let's see if I could find that one for you. Let's see, single may do that. Let's try single. So I'm going to copy this file from the parent, and I don't like the way it looks, so I'm going to try to change things around, and I'm going to put it into the child. Same copy of the file, but it's going to use the child's file over the parent's. So when I take this file and I open it up in brackets, I can see how it's constructed, how it put all these items together in this loop, and so on. So let's see if I could find something I could change in here. Oh, it's taking some smaller parts. It's taking the template part, content single. Template part, comment single. So I'm going to try to grab that. Well, actually, here, I'll do an easier one. Get header calls the file header over here. So I'll keep it simple. I'll grab that one. Okay. So if I can see this a little bit, what the header is doing, here's the body tag for the very top of the page. It ends up coming through. It's kind of hard to read, but it ends up saying the logo's injected here. It's the home page. If I could find something I could change here for you. Header image. All right. So let's say right after the body tag. Let's see, what can I use? I'll just add some extra code at the top saying it's the same header file, except my version at the very top should say I'm in the child theme at the very top, just to show that it's different. I just wanted to show a quick demonstration. So the body tag at the top. This code right here, we're going to learn a little bit later, which is PHP code. It's just going to inject whatever body class is there. But this is the body tag that we're working with. So this is just plain old HTML that I have down here. It says I'm in the child theme. So just by doing that, should be able to refresh the page. It's going to build all over again. Whoa. Wow, it's kind of weird looking. But it does show that I'm in the child theme. It injected that in. I can't see it very well, so I might have to cheat a little bit. I'm going to put just so I could see it. So I'll refresh it, see if it'll come up. So you can see it injected it. It's not pretty, but at least you could see that it ended up saying, I've got some new object that I want to put in place. I want to put it at the very top, add it over to my script, and make some modifications. So again, it's not pretty, but I wanted to demonstrate that I was able to take the header from the parent, copy it over to the child, and now it's using the child's version. If I end up deleting that off, I'll do Control X to just cut this off. Well, I guess I have to just delete it off. Sorry. And then I refresh. It's still going to put in the header, but it's actually going to use the parent's header because it can't find a file called header.php. So it uses the parent's one, and it disappears, and you're back to normal. But you can see the advantage of using a child theme over a parent's theme and modifying it, because that way, the next time they end up having a upgrade to the 2016 theme, they could rewrite all this code, and your code is intact because your code is in a separate folder in order to maintain by itself. Now there's more that we're going to learn a little bit, as well as you can add and override some functions of the parent theme. So some themes end up having some custom functions that are used to stylize their theme. Like maybe the admin portion will say, I'm going to let your theme inject a image as a cover image, or for example, this is the favorite icon, the favicon. So it injects that one in there. Maybe you want to inject your own inside. So you can end up using your own fancy code and put it into functions.php and enhance your theme. And as I mentioned before, I already did this for you before, but to activate a theme, all the files are in place. We go to WordPress, we go to the appearance theme, and we activate the child theme. So that's where we were back here. We went to appearance. And we went over to the 2016 child and activated it. Now you're going like, well, where did that image come from? You know, the image, this is the 2016, so I want this image to show up here. How do I get that over there? Well, that image is just a file called screenshot. Let me go to 2016. It's a PNG file. So all you need to do is get the screenshot of the parent, or even do your own custom one if you ended up making modifications with a different color. But all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take that file, I'll copy it, and I'll place it back into the child theme. So now I've got screenshot.png, and now I can end up refreshing this appearance page to say, give me all the images. And now it took, oops, the 2016 is this one. See, I didn't even get the right one. So the 2016 theme shows up with a sample image of what you're going to get. So I would take a screenshot with maybe my red title or something like that on here so that I know, okay, this is what it's going to look like when I actually go through. All the details, again, this is coming from the style.css file. And I have to have my parent theme there. If this file is not here, this one won't work. It relies on the parent theme to be there. It's inactive at this moment, but it's relying on it to be there in order for you to use your child theme. I don't think you can have a child of a child, so no grandchildren, no great-grandchildren or anything like that. So sometimes you're going to run across a theme, and I think this Ample Business and Business Hour is an example of that, where one of these is a child theme of the other. Let me check on that one for you. So Ample theme and Business Hour. Let me look at the style.css file. Let's see, is there one called template? No, I don't see template. No, that's a different template. It needs to be in the header area. So this is Ample theme. Let's see if Business Hour is related to it, because I think it is. Yes, see? So Business Hour, as you can see, they titled the theme Business Hour, but it's a child of Ample Business. And this is the folder name for it, right? So if I end up going up here, Ample-Business. So when I downloaded the Business Hour theme, it actually downloaded two different themes for me. And Ample Business needs to be there in order for Business Hour to run. So if I didn't, like if Business Hour wasn't exactly what I needed, I might take Business Hour, clone it, try to make my own modifications, but it's still based off of this parent Ample Business theme that was being used. All right, so any questions on this part? It should be pretty easy just by following the PowerPoint presentation as you go through of how you can end up making some changes. You don't need to know a lot. Just know that I'm making a child theme with a template pointing to the parent. I have to give it a different name. I could use either one of these methods to get the CSS style of the parent. The preferred method is method number 2. And method number 2 is basically taking this, copy and paste it into a file called functions.php. Then you can end up putting in your own overrides for the other theme that was there. And we also talked about how you could copy some of the PHP files from the parent's folder down to your own local child one, and the child will take precedence. Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, I think we had enough for today, so I will see you guys next week. And remember, the end of next week on April 12th is the withdrawal deadline. So if you're having second thoughts, go ahead and try to drop it before then so that you'll actually get a W in the course instead of a letter grade. All right, so until next time, take care. Don't forget to type your name into the chat room if you haven't done so already. Thanks.